Welcome back to our short series on tithing in the Bible. In part 2, we're looking at how tithing was enforced under the law of Moses and what happened when Israel stopped obeying it. Once the system of tithing was set in place, it became a legal requirement for all of Israel. It wasn't optional. God called it holy. Leviticus chapter 27 verse 30 says, "Every tithe of the land is the Lord's. It is holy to the Lord." That means withholding it was the same as the stealing from God. Tithes were collected at regular times and stored in cities and temple storehouses. The Levites and priests used these resources to carry out their work. But if the people failed to give, the entire system broke down. The Levites would have to go back to working the land. The temple would be neglected and the poor would go hungry. One example is found in Nehemiah chapter 13. Nehemiah had to rebuke the leaders because the Levites had not received their portions and were forced to leave their duties. Nehemiah said, "Why is the house of God forsaken?" Then he restored the tithes and made sure the temple was functioning again. Another major example is found in Malachi chapter 3, where God accuses the people of robbing him. He says, "You are robbing me in your tithes and contributions." The result was a curse on their land and harvest. God told them to bring the full tithe into the storehouse, so there would be food in his house. This passage is often quoted today, but it was spoken to Israel under the Old Covenant. It was tied to their national obedience and blessing. This was not a personal giving principle. It was a national command with national consequences. The prophets often warned Israel when they were going through the motions of worship but neglecting justice and mercy. Amos and Isaiah both point out how God was not pleased with empty offerings and fake religious behavior. God wanted their hearts, not just their tithes. During the time of the kings, whenever there was revival in Israel, restoring tithing was always part of it. Like in 2 Chronicles chapter 31, when King Hezekiah commanded the people to bring the tithe, they did it so abundantly that they had to build heaps to store it all. When the people returned to God, they also returned to giving. But here's the key. Tithing depended on the temple, the priests, and the land. It was a system rooted in God's covenant with Israel. When the people disobeyed, the blessings stopped. When they obeyed, blessings returned. The strict connection between tithing and obedience is part of what made the Old Covenant different from the New Covenant. In the New Testament, the focus shifts from law to grace, from obligation to willingness. But we'll explore that in part 3.